What's going on, guys? My name is Tommy. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another episode of the Forgotten Race Review. Today's request comes to us from one of our patrons. Remember, guys, patronage at any tier allows your requests in any series to jump to the front of the line. Today, the Black Dragon disciple Joshua Pearson requests the Wyvaran, who appears in the Advanced Race Guide and has expanded lore in Legacy of Dragons. As always, if you have any requests for this series or any other series, throw them in the comments. We'll get right on them. And of course, today, this episode of the Forgotten Race Review was brought to you by the man who requested it, Joshua Pearson. Josh, thank you so much for your time and support. Like I say a bajillion times over, it means the world. Now let's dive in. Okay, so across fantasy, the draconic humanoid trope is a pretty common, pretty popular thing. Sometimes we're talking the descendants of dragons and humanoids. Sometimes we're talking about a unique species in and of itself. Sometimes that connection is a little more magical. Think something like the Dragonborn of Skyrim. Oh, speaking of Dragonborn, 5th edition's Dragonborn race, according to the man who requested it, is one of the most popular races in 5e, so why oh why in Pathfinder don't we have something like that? The answer, of course, is the Wyvaran. In Pathfinder, Wyvarans are an artificial race created long before the Age of Darkness, an age where a meteor fell from space, hit a continent, made an inner sea, plunged the world into a dark age. You get the idea. These wyvern-like beings are fierce and powerful fighters, deadly when crossed, but they're powerful allies if you can gain their trust. Because of their general isolation from other races, there are many rumors about the nature of Wyvarans, most of which are half-true at best. Though less learned than many of the civilized races, they are an incredibly shrewd, if headstrong, species. Wyvarans are naturally covetous. They desire treasure and wealth for no real purpose beyond having it. Most of them have hordes of treasures hidden away in places they alone can find, although it is customary to leave a portion of one's goods with the clan. In Pathfinder's history, when the nation of Osirion was founded, it sought to wrest control of the lost cities of northern Garund, which the Wyvarans had settled in. After generations of bloody conflict, the Wyvarans were forced out of their grandest settlements, driven back into the mountains of Garund, and have been forced to live a hardscrabble existence. And coupled with the fact that the Wyvarans were created magically, these guys struggle as a race to raise viable young. Many Wyvaran children are born as runts who are lucky to live until adulthood. In their culture, a coming-of-age ceremony is one of life's most important events because it proves that the new adult has the strength and tenacity needed to survive when many do not. Outside of their normal settlements, the Wyvaran are usually found leading kobold tribes. Many think that the Wyvarans themselves were a fusion of kobold and wyvern. Sometimes these guys will even dwell among true dragons. Alright, so since this race is a little more on the esoteric side, there's no definitive stats for things like when they come of age, their maximum age, their height and weight. So we're going to extrapolate a little bit based on where they come from. We're going to homebrew a little. We're going to bring it to you. These guys are supposed to have been created from kobolds, so it stands to reason that they might come of age around the time a kobold does. That's 12 years. Following that logic, a kobold's maximum age is 40 plus 1d20 years. Of course, the Wyvaran could live a little longer because the admixture of wyvern blood, or could die even sooner because they are not a species that existed in nature. They are simply something created. I'll leave that one up to you guys. As far as their height and weight goes, these guys are supposed to be lithe and fast, but they do have tails. And these tails do seem to span pretty much the length of their bodies as well as wings. They're medium creatures. Their best physical stat is dexterity, so I'm gonna base it off elves. That might be because I like elves, but that's neither here nor there. Both male and female elves have a base height of 5 foot 4 inches. Male elves can be at most 6'8", that's a big boy, with the female being only 2 inches shorter. This could be flip-flopped around, however, because there are some reptilian species out there where the female is larger than the male. Of course, again, since magic is in play with the creation of this race, it could definitely go whatever way you wanted it to. As far as their weight goes, I think we should base it off the half-orc because, again, there's just more to them. There's more bones, there's more scales, there's more wings and tails and stuff. Going off the half-orc, A male usually weighs from 164 to 318 pounds, with the female coming in at 40 pounds lighter, 124 to 278. But again, these numbers could easily be flip-flopped, and honestly, they probably should be, because adventuring Wyvarans often view their companions as clutch mates, which leads one to believe that a female Wyvaran lays several eggs at once, which means the female Wyvaran's body would need to be bigger to support that, but I'm no scientist. Let's get down to the stats, shall we? A Wyvaran gets a +2 to its dexterity and a +2 to its wisdom, but a -2 to its intelligence. These guys are dragons. They pay 10 RP, according to the Advanced Race Guide's race creation rules, to get dark vision 60 feet, low light vision, immunity to magic sleep, and paralysis. Of course, this means they're also proficient with their own natural weapons. They're medium creatures with a base speed of 30 feet and a fly speed also of 30 feet with clumsy maneuverability. In addition, these guys have a natural attack, the Slapping Tail. This tail attack can only be used when making attacks of opportunity. It deals 1d8 points of damage plus the Wyvaran's strength modifier. Now that seems a little rough to me, considering how much RP we're already paying to play this race. Why we can't attack with our tail is a little beyond me. An extra 1d8 plus half strength if we're wielding a weapon isn't that crazy. So if I had a Wyvaran PC, that's the first thing I would wave. These guys and kobolds are pretty much the only races in Pathfinder of their kind, this essentially being the kobold on roids. And I really like that about the race because, again, it's a race we don't see a whole lot in Pathfinder, aside from like your draconic blooded blood ragers or sorcerers, things of that nature. Of course, since they are so rare, if I had a player playing a Wyvaran, it might be the kind of race that strolls into the town, especially if the town is a little village or hamlet, and then everybody freaks out because suddenly a dragon person has walked into the village. If they're more prevalent in the setting or in a bigger city where lots of crazy races are known to inhabit, probably wouldn't happen so much, but it's a great roleplay jumping off point. For NPCs, these guys kind of feel like Klingons, kind of feel like Wookiees. It's that whole noble savage thing. These guys probably aren't going to trust you right off. They're probably going to be outright hostile. And if you earn their respect, they owe you one and will go to any length to see to it that that debt is repaid. And I'm sure they could repay that debt in many ways. Everything from fighting off the party's enemies, maybe even making a heroic final last stand for the party, or even maybe going so far as being an intermediary between the party and whatever kind of dragon it is that this particular Wyvaran happens to live with. As a final note before we check out here, the favored class option for a Wyvaran sorcerer, add 1/2 bonus to the damage of spells or spell-like abilities that deal damage of the same energy type as the sorcerer's draconic bloodline breath weapon, is super powerful. That stacks wonderfully with the cross-blooded orc draconic blaster sorcerer that a lot of us know and love, and I think all of my blaster sorcerers have officially been adopted by the Wyvaran race. What do you guys think about the Wyvaran? Have you played them? Are you a big fan of the Dragonborn in Pathfinder 5th edition? And is this a race you'd like to see come to the fore in Pathfinder 2nd edition? Hey, don't forget guys, our Pathfinder Doomsday Dawn giveaway is live right now. 6 lucky subscribers will run through the Doomsday Dawn adventure for Pathfinder 2nd edition right here at Black Dragon Gaming. If you'd like to learn more about that giveaway, follow this card right up here. And if you're liking the Wyvaran, you can roll him up for our Pathfinder 1st edition Send-Off Tournament giveaway. That's right, we're celebrating 10 years of an amazing RPG with a little bit of blood sport in the name of Paizo Productions. For more information about that giveaway, follow this card right up here. Remember, patronage at any tier will give you an extra entry in both giveaways. Our Patreon link, as always, is in the description. Be sure to like and subscribe for more videos. The next episode of the Forgotten Race Review, where we cover another patron request, the Kuru, drops next Monday.